Welcome to PyPod Chronicles, a series that brings our tech blog to life in a whole new way. Covering an array of topics surrounding Python and tech, from programming tips, best practices, and so much more. Let's get immersed in Python with the Nerd Nook on the go. If you've been keeping up with the blog, then you'll know me as Rusty Raccoon. But hey, if you're new here, I'm Josh, your host. Here we are in episode 8, and I gave this one the title of Exception Handling in Python, What You Need to Know. I'm stoked to have you all here. What are we going to be talking about in this episode? Well, you guessed it. How do we handle exceptions in Python and exception handling? Close your eyes. Just imagine you're a Python dev sitting at your desk, you're furiously typing away those lines of code. Everything seems cool, right? Until, bam, an error pops up out of nowhere on your screen, and this error's like mocking your efforts, leaving you scratching your head. Don't worry, we've all been there, and errors drive us nuts. But, in reality, errors are actually your friend, and we can use them to help you become a better developer. How can we handle errors? Well, let's find out how. Now let's face it, bugs happen all the time, no matter how carefully you craft your code. Unexpected situations can arise. It could be a file that doesn't read right or doesn't exist, or maybe it's something basic like you're attempting to divide by 0, which we've all done. 10 divided by 0, it's going to say error, literally the word error, because that's impossible. These scenarios can throw a wrench into your perfectly laid out code. That's where exception handling comes into play. Exception handling allows you to anticipate and deal with errors before they happen. Let's face it, guys. Most people who use your product, they are clueless. You are the developer. You need to anticipate what could they do to cause an error in the program. Well, that might be a good place to put a little bit of exception handling. Here are a few reasons why exception handling is vital in your Python programming. Well, number 1, it prevents crashes. When an exception occurs and it's not handled, it crawls up that call stack until it reaches the top level of your program. This results in a crash. Exception handling allows you to catch that before it happens. 2, enhancing user experience. It's not just about preventing crashes, it's also about improving the overall user experience. This keeps the user coming back to your product for more. Number 3, debugging and troubleshooting. When an exception occurs, you can log and report the details, including the error message and traceback. This helps you in the future. Right? We have our 3 reasons why exception handling is great. In Python, exception handling revolves around 3 key words: try, except, and finally. These constructs form the foundation of exception handling and provide you with the means to deal with all these crazy errors that you're getting. What does the structure of this look like? I want you to think a little bit about a conditional statement. If, elif, else. A try statement looks like try, except, and finally. We have the keyword try followed by a colon, and then everything inside the try block is what Python is going to try to run. So the try block is where you put the code that might raise an error. This is the area you suspect an error could occur, and you want to try to catch it and handle it. It's like telling Python, hey, keep an eye on this code. Something might go wrong. Every try block needs to be followed by an except block. And the except block helps you define how to handle a specific type of error. When an error occurs within the try block, Python checks if it matches any of the specified errors in the except block. If there is a match, Python jumps to that specific error block and executes the code. All right, so you're basically telling Python, hey, if a value error occurs, or if a file not found error occurs, I want you to handle that error in this manner. By catching these errors, you can tailor your error handling to each situation. And this provides customizable solutions or fallback options for you or even your clients. Now we've talked about the try block and the except block, but there's also the finally block. The finally block is optional, but then again, it's actually really powerful. It allows you to specify your code that always executes. So regardless of whether an exception or regardless of whether an error occurs or not, this block will always run. And this ensures that a certain action like cleanup tasks or releasing resources are performed consistently, even in the presence of all your errors. The code within the finally block will run no matter what. It's like having a faithful companion who never abandons you, which, let's face it, at the end of the day, it's what we all want. By combining the try, except, and finally blocks, you gain control over exception handling. You can catch and handle any error and perform cleanup operations while guiding your code through unexpected errors. And this maintains the integrity of your code. But Josh, I've gotten a few errors, not just one error. Multiple exceptions? Well, guys, that's not a problem. Sometimes you may encounter these scenarios where you anticipate different errors requiring different handling strategies. Python actually allows you to catch multiple errors, multiple exceptions, in a single try-except statement, providing a flexible way for you to handle all these errors. There are two ways to catch multiple exceptions. We could list them individually, or you could group them using parentheses. It's like passing arguments to a function. But let's talk about listing them individually first. You can catch multiple exceptions by listing them one after another in a separate except block. So imagine this. You have your try statement. Your Python is going to try to do something with this code. And then I have except value error, except type error, except file not found error. I have 3 except statements, each handling a different Python error. That's quite repetitive, but maybe you want to handle different errors a different way. Well, that's a great solution. If you want to handle all the errors the same way, well, let's group these errors using parentheses. So alternatively, you can group related errors together in these parentheses. And this approach allows you to handle multiple exceptions with the same code block. And it provides a more concise way to handle your exceptions that require similar treatment. So except, parentheses, inside the parentheses, all you need to do is put the error you want to handle. Using this, you can handle exceptions with a shared error handling strategy. For instance, if you want to log an error message for both value error and type error, you can group them together and perform a desired action within that block. Remember, guys, when catching multiple exceptions, the order of the except blocks matter. Python evaluates from top to bottom and executes the code block of the first matching exception. Right? It's just like reading a book. Left to right, top to bottom. Python does the same thing. I'm going to wrap things up here. In conclusion, congrats guys, because you now got the gist of exception handling in Python. But remember, when it comes to exception handling, specificity is key. That means be specific. Catch only the exceptions you expect and tailor your error handling to different situations. But be creative with multiple except blocks, or remember you can group related exceptions together for a more concise approach. Don't forget about that finally block. A try statement you must have try and except. But a finally block is great for cleaning up your code. It's like a responsible adult cleaning up when you're done. And no matter what happens, that finally block is always going to run. As you guys continue your coding journey, keep in mind that bugs are just opportunities for you to show off exception handling. Embrace them with a sense of humor and remain calm. Errors are your friends. Use your terminal to help you solve them. Well guys, that's all for now. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of PyPod Chronicles. And be sure to check out the blog if you're looking for more. As always, the link is in the description. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next episode.